Again, it just comes down to being able to connect his heart with my heart and being able to try to figure out kind of like how to move forward. The clinical part's the easiest part of it all. You know, if I can get connected with him, then we can jump through all these other hoops, but it's the connection. So
this struggle got purpose and we grow. So whatever road we have to take next, all I need to know is that we'll roll with the punches.
Getting the thumbnail. I'm getting the thumbnail. Rawr! Rawr! Would that be a good thumbnail? Maybe that's a good thumbnail right there. Just strong, being strong. Alright, y'all. We're just gonna go ahead and get in it today. We're gonna go ahead and get in it today. I want to talk with you something that I talk with a lot of parents about. So go ahead, roll that what's been coming up in client sessions. Okay, it's time for what's been coming up in client sessions. Okay, let's talk about how do I get, you see I put that in air quotes there, how do I get my kid to ... How do I get my kid to do homework? How do I get my kid to pick up his shoes off the floor? How do I get my kid to clean his room, right? How do I get my kid to pee in the toilet? Okay, so here's the idea. We got to be careful with this word get. It's troublesome, y'all. That word get is troublesome. I don't like that word when I'm talking with parents because that word implies that the parents are going to have to use force, or the parents are going to make their child do something. How do I get them to do it? There's an expectation that because I expect some of them, I'm going to make them do it. And parents, that's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope, and let me tell you why. Now, I do believe this, okay? Parents set the expectation, and because the parent sets the expectation of whatever it is, pick the shoes up off the floor. I don't give kids excuses, okay? There's no excuses when parents ask the kids to do something. I expect the kids to do it, but the word get implies that there's gonna be some manipulation or some coercion in the parenting. You know, how do I get them to do it? How is it I gotta yell at them? Is it I gotta threaten to take something away? How do I get them to do it? How do I get them to realize that they're going to do it, okay? And what I want to do is I want to back up. I want to back up the truck, and hold on. Scam likely. Okay, anyway, let's continue on. That as parents, I want to send a message to the child that, hey, I'm going to expect something of you. And then you, the child, get to make a choice, okay? So it's not going to be, I'm going to force you, and that's how you're going to do it. No, I'm going to expect something of you, and then you get to make a choice. Are you going to do what I'm asking you to do? Are you going to comply with my expectation, or are you not, okay? Are you gonna comply with the expectation or not? And then what happens is based on what the kid does is the parent, you know, follows through and does what the parent asks or not. Then the parent follows back through with either giving, you know, a reward or a consequence, okay? So I want to just make sure that we stay on this idea, this get, okay, get. That I want to make sure that you parents know that there shouldn't be force, there shouldn't be coercion, There shouldn't be manipulation in your parenting. There shouldn't be shaming in your parenting, okay, to get your kid to do something. It's not a matter of, I expect it and I'm going to make you do it. No. Is I expect something and I'm going to give you the choice. I'm going to give you the choice if you're going to do it or not. Now, based on your choice is going to be based on rewards and consequences, okay? Does that make sense? Because here's the thing. That's how the real world works. That's how the real world works. And when I'm talking with parents about parenting, I want them to parent in a way, natural constant, natural quant. I'm talking too fast. I'm excited about this topic. That's the natural consequences of the real world, right? That's the natural consequences. That's how the real world works. It's based on your choices. If you go to work today, then you're going to get paid for today. If you choose not to go to work today, you're not going to get paid for work today. Okay, you see how that works? Okay, so all this is based on choices. When I talk with parents and effective parenting, it's all about giving the child a choice, okay? I know parents, you don't like this idea that I'm going to give my kid a choice to either comply or not comply. But that's the reality, is your child has to make the choice. Your child has to make the choice to comply or not. Now, you can force or you can manipulate your child, but then that becomes the struggle. When I see parents forcing and coercing and manipulating the child, okay, those are negative vibes. Those are bad vibes. And what's going to end up happening is, your child may comply with those expectations in the beginning and for a short term, but the child's then going to give back to you whatever you're giving them. So if you're forcing or coercing or manipulating, well, your child's going to send those negative vibes back to you, and there may be some defiance or some opposition as a way to battle your coercion or your manipulation. So we want to just make sure that in your parenting, when we talk about that you understand that you can't get your child to do anything. Your child is going to make a choice to do whatever it is, or to make a choice not to do whatever it is that you're asking your child to do. Hope that makes sense. I know for some parents it rubs them the wrong way, because they say, I'm the parent and you should do what I'm asking you to do because I'm the parent and I said so. That's the wrong way to go about this, y'all. That's the wrong way to go about this. All right, y'all, halfway done with this run, 2 miles in, and wow, feels good. When I'm out, seriously, when I'm out on a run, my brain and my body just start connecting, and it's a good way for me just to process life. And on this last mile or so, I've just been thinking about different words. Different words keep popping up. Self-discipline, y'all. Consistency, resilience. Push through. These are all words that have popped in as I've been running. Well, sometimes what's missing in this therapy thing is the connection with someone. The connection's a huge part of this. So if he's telling you that he doesn't feel connected or he can't find someone, there's probably some truth in that. Now, how willing is he to connect with someone is a different story, but a really good therapist will find that hook and be able to connect with him in a way. So that would be my first step in trying to work with him before I really did anything clinical, is to really challenge that connection. All right, y'all. I'm gonna say all right, y'all. I don't know how to get started. What am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm doing. Anyway, okay, let's try to get this back on track. So one thing that I've been doing a lot of, which is kind of like the basic, the foundation when I'm talking with someone with anxiety, especially in younger kids, also in adults, we do it a little differently, but externalizing the anxiety, okay? So I've gone on this, I've talked about this before, but I want to review it because I think it's important just to remember that you are not anxiety. You are not anxiety. You are all the awesome things. You have so many great things. You have lots of interest, okay? The anxiety, what we'll talk about, that the anxiety tries to play tricks on you, and the anxiety makes you try to feel like that you're not in control, but you are in control. You are in control of yourself. So what we do is we externalize the anxiety. We push the anxiety out of you. The anxiety is not inside of you. It's not controlling you. It's separate than you, okay? It's separate than you. So as we push the anxiety out, we usually give it a name, and it's fun, especially when I'm talking with younger kids, you know, like Stink Pot or Mr. Stinky Pants or SpongeBob. So they give anxiety a name. And then what we'll do is that we talk about anxiety is going to play tricks on your mind and your body. Anxiety is going to try to get you to feel like you're going to get sick, or anxiety is going to make your thoughts just go crazy. And what you're going to do is that you're going to say, no, I'm not listening to you. Okay, now that we've externalized the anxiety, now we can start battling anxiety, and we can say, no, I don't have to listen to you. I'm not going to be afraid. I know, Stink Pot, that you're trying to make me scared. I know, Stink Pot, that you're trying to make me feel like I'm gonna throw up. I know, Stink Pot, you're making me feel nauseous, and I don't care. Go ahead, Stink Pot, make me vomit. Make me vomit, Stink Pot. Go ahead, Stink Pot, make me vomit. And the more that I can get a person to act on their strengths and their confidence and their self-control, and know that anxiety isn't controlling them, the more that they're gonna win. And so we have a lot of conversations about who's winning. Is anxiety winning, or are you winning? What's the score right now? What's the score? What's the score? What's the daily score? Anxiety 1, Randy 14. How about that? Every time anxiety tries to scare me, no, not doing it. All right? Sound good? Sound good? All right, y'all. Externalize that anxiety. Push it out. You are way more than anxiety. You are way more than anxiety. I know it feels like anxiety is controlling you and you can't get it outside of you, but push it out. Understand that you're way more than anxiety, and you get yourself some of that good stuff. I don't know what that good stuff is. I don't know what I'm saying here. Okay, I've got to get to seeing some more clients. Okay, it's time for what's been coming up in client sessions. All right, y'all. Got about 11 minutes. 11 minutes before I see a client. And hey, I want to talk about worry time for a second. Worry time. You know, there are things that just pop up in your brain during the day, and it may pop up several times, and maybe you just don't have the time or the energy to deal with it at that time. It's like, hey, like, I gotta be at work, I gotta be working, or I gotta give a presentation, or I got a big test to take, or something like that. And you just don't have an opportunity to kind of just sit and think through that worry. Oftentimes what I'll do with clients is I will tell them to take worry time in the evening, or when they have a break. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a piece of paper, or you could do it on your phone too if you want. But when you have a worry, I want you to write it down. I want you to write that worry down, okay? Write that worry down. Okay, now I got that worry out of my mind. I got that thought out of my mind. Okay, now it's on a piece of paper. And so what happens is every time that worry then will pop in my head, I'll take that piece of paper and I will either put a check mark if it's the same worry. If it's a different worry, I'll write that worry down, okay? And so then I've got a list of worries. I got a list of things that are bothering me. And then what I'll do is I'll say, okay, tonight, you know, at night from, let's just say 5:30 to 6:30. Every night from 5:30 to 6:30, I want you to pull out your list, and I want you to have worry time. I want you to have worry time. Okay, so for that hour, I want you to look at each of those worries. And what you'll look is you'll be like, okay, this worry, okay, do I need to worry about that? A lot of times, y'all, once we write it down and we push it out of our brain and we say we're going to worry about it at a different time, when we come back to that worry, you know, I mean, it's like magic. We don't need to worry about it anymore. We don't need to worry about it because we've gone on, our brain has gone on to other things. Sometimes we do need to stop, and we do need to think about that thought for a while. And what I tell people is worrying is like a rocking chair. Worrying is like a rocking chair. You kind of just rock back and forth, but you don't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a worry, and I want you to look at it, and I want you to think about it, and I want you to come up with a plan. I want you to come up with a plan for that worry, okay? So now, not only do you have a worry, but you have a plan. So when your brain goes back to that worry, and you're just worrying about it, instead of just continuing just to rock in that rocking chair, you can be like, oh, I got a plan. I got a plan now for that worry. All right, so I'm gonna lose my job. Okay, if I lose my job, then I'm gonna take, the plan would be is I'm gonna take a month off, and I'm gonna just kind of recuperate, and then I'm gonna apply for 5 jobs per week a month from now. That's the plan. Okay, I'm gonna fail a test. That's the worry. Okay, if I fail the test, I'm gonna tell my parents, and then after I tell my parents, if I need to get a tutor, I'll get a tutor. If I don't understand the information, maybe I'll go in and talk to my teacher some to learn the material more. Maybe I just read the chapter over again, something like that, right? That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, so the point of this is our brain is just going to keep going pew, pew, pew to that worry. What we want to do is we want to push it out of our brain, say, hey, we'll worry about this later tonight. We'll worry about this later. We'll write it down, okay? And then if we need to, we'll take that time to worry. Guys, if we come back and we look at that list and we're like, oh, I don't need to worry about these anymore, you don't need to take that worry time, okay? You don't need to take that worry time. It's only if you're still worrying about that. But the main point is, don't just keep worrying about that thought. Don't just keep worrying about it. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan with each of those worries, all right? You got to have a plan for each of those worries. And by the way, if you have taken all that time that day to worry about something and then create a plan, if you haven't come up with your plan, then you can put it on your sheet. You can put it on your page for the next day, and then you could come back the following day in the evening time when it's your worry time, and you can worry about it again and try to come up with a plan. All right, y'all? All right. Hope that helps. Hey, thanks for watching today. Peace. On track, now we on way up. W's as easy as a layup.